Good morning, good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Christina Campbell. I am mother of two beautiful children, the wife of an awesome, hardworking man, and I am a physician. I am board certified in emergency medicine, and I've been practicing medicine for about 20 years now. And my passion is prevention, so I am here to help you with everything food and essential oils and natural products that can be helpful to maximize the body's ability to heal itself, really. So that's my thing. I'm your Dr.OilyMom. And let's talk a little bit about frankincense. I want to talk about frankincense and its use with animals. Frankincense is just one of those amazing oils. It does have, the biochemistry there is amazing. And it really helps support all body systems. I'm getting gestures in the background from my family. Anyway, it helps with global body support. And it's really an amazing oil. So it's not really a big surprise that this would be one of the things that was gifted to the Christ child in history, just because of its amazing properties. And I am going to remain FDA compliant, but what I would suggest and encourage everyone to do is please to Google frankincense, go look it up, look up the biochemistry of it, look on PubMed. There are some amazing studies there that can help you figure out what is what with frankincense and the chemistry there. So, but as a general statement, it does help with global body support. It is very supportive of healthy cell regeneration. I'm going to put it that way. It also helps to support a healthy immune system, healthy nervous system, healthy skin, healthy gastrointestinal tract. And it is grounding and quite calming as well. It is frankincense. When we talk about frankincense, there's actually several different species of frankincense oils. When we talk about regular frankincense, some people call it regular frankincense. It's actually Boswellia carteri is the biological name of it. And it is a very well used oil. It's well used with many species of animals in just about every way imaginable. So it's kind of neat. It's incredibly safe. It's well tolerated. It's versatile. It's effective. And some people would consider it a life force oil. And it is helpful for, it's also helpful for use in times of transition. So during times of transition and death, it's incredibly helpful both for the animal and the caretaker. And this is true also with, speaking from experience, with humans. So it works in that way for all animals. Frankincense also, and this is something that I didn't realize until recently, it actually has a magnifying property to it. So it's a magnifier as well, similar to copaiba has a magnifier. So when I say that, I mean that it actually enhances, when you add it to other oils, it will enhance the effects of those oils. So that's a nice thing to know as well. And when I say that it's versatile, and I'm going to kind of go through some of the things that are in Dr. Shelton's book, because I don't have firsthand experience of some of these things, but I thought they were so fascinating, and I thought you might like to know. So for those of you, Diane Harmon, who like to raise butterflies, this is a neat one because the butterflies will actually enjoy dipping their feet in it, in a frankincense water mix. Honeybees, they've also used this with honeybees. Cotton ball diffusers placed within the beehives help production and help their overall well-being of the hive. Birds love to be misted with it in the misting method that I've talked about before, but we'll talk about it in a little more detail. It has been added to fish aquariums very successfully. Rabbits and guinea pigs and lots of other types of animals enjoy being petted with it, as I discussed already with my Sasha, who loves it. Common uses of frankincense with birds and exotics. So again, and these numbers may start to become redundant to you because it seems we start, for most oils, we start in the same kind of place. So when you're talking about adding it to their drinking water, you can put a drop in a liter of water and use that as their drinking water. If you're putting it in food, again, 1 drop to about a tablespoon of food is the starting point, and then you can increase that. as the animal tolerates it. Water misting, typically 4 drops in 4 ounces of distilled water, and you can put it in one of those little spray bottles and then mist your animal with it. And birds like this as well as reptiles and other types of animals. Direct application, neat or diluted. So this is one that you can use neat on your animals fairly safely and effectively. You can use it obviously in a water diffuser, 3 to 4 drops typically speaking in a water diffuser, and then you can increase that concentration as the animal tolerates it. It is very safe, and even in high amounts can be safe. So this is one that you can really go for it. All right. It's also quite often added to a species-specific raindrop. There, I got it out. So that's something that's pretty cool too. For dogs and larger animals, all of the methods that we already talked about will work, in addition to air diffusion. So those more concentrated air diffusers you can use with the larger animals. You can also use it with caging and tenting. So if you guys don't know what that is, I did a video on that a couple of days ago, just kind of some of the basics. So it's under the diffusion methods, so you can learn about that there. Dogs are much more likely to eat larger levels of frankincense in their food. So you can start still at the 1 drop per tablespoon of food, but you can advance that pretty rapidly with dogs. They will really do that. Horses, you can put it in their bottom lip. So you can actually just pull their little lip out and drop it in there, and they will take it that way fairly easily. And in cases where animals may be ill, maybe they have some tumors or something on their skin that is oozing or has some issues, it can be placed directly on that. So it is something that you can place directly on that skin that has issues, and you can use it neatly, okay? And I'm going to talk about this in an FDA compliant way. But I want to give you these numbers. So for dogs who have cancer that are greater than or equal to, for dogs that have cancer, you can use 10 drops per 20 pounds of body weight twice a day for overall body support with frankincense. So you can, however you use that, whether you're putting it on topically, whether you're putting it in their food or their water, or you're just directly putting it in their mouth, that is what you can do with dogs of that size. And you can, in fact, go higher than that, but that would be a good starting point, okay, for general support for these ill puppies, ill dogs, okay? For general support in healthy animals, obviously much less is needed. With larger animals, you can go 10 drops to 100 to 200 pounds of weight per day. And then you would split it up into 3 or 4 different applications, if you will. Just because it's a little bit better tolerated. I think it's a little better to give the body a little bit at a time rather than all of it at once. That way your body is getting a little bit and using it a little bit and using it, and I think that probably works a bit better. From a physiology standpoint, it just makes sense that would work better than giving it all in one big bolus. But, I don't want you to feel like if you can't afford, 4 bottles of frankincense for your animal or whatever, that 1 or 2 drops won't help, because it will. Frankincense is a very powerful oil. It has a lot of amazing benefits, and it is very concentrated. So 1 or 2 drops will, in fact, do quite a lot to support your animal in both health and illness as an overall body support method. So frankincense is also a beautiful oil to use with birth. So the birth of a new animal, also with humans, but newborns of every species, really. So within minutes of birth, it can be used. You can put it on the towels or hands of those who are delivering the baby or the foal or the calf or the chick or the kittens or puppies or whatever we're talking about. It has also been used to anoint the umbilical cords of these animals. And if you know, it makes sense, because essentially the umbilical cord is all vasculature, right? It's vasculature, it's artery and vein that go to and from baby and mother. So if you're anointing this before you're cutting it especially, you're going to be applying it essentially to both mom and baby. So I think that's kind of a really neat application to it. I haven't used it myself, but I think that's just such a neat thought to anoint the umbilical cord and know that you're going to be affecting both mom and baby all at once, and what a cool thing to do. So also diffusing frankincense around eggs, so around bird eggs, chick eggs, duck eggs, those kinds of things. Around their nests too. So it's the same way that you do lit aroma with cats. If you're diffusing around the nests of your birds, that's gonna essentially create a lit aroma of the nest for the baby chicks and the eggs as they're hatching, and the hatchlings. So that's kind of a cool method of diffusing frankincense. As far as frankincense use with cats and the most common ways of doing that, adding to the kitty raindrop is one way of adding frankincense. Lit aroma is another fairly obvious way that you can do that. Petting, either neat or diluted, which I already talked about. And water diffusion, so diffusing frankincense in the house or around the cat, either in an open room or even in a closed room, would be acceptable in a cat. If you're in a closed room, and I would say that if you're really driving towards a certain intention, it wouldn't be something I would do every day. So I don't like to have my cat feel trapped, if you will. But at the same time, if you really need it to address a certain intention, you can actually even do caging and tenting with cats. So you can use a pretty intense high amount safely with cats if you need to. But again, only really if you need to. And actually, my cat will come to the diffuser, so I don't have to put her in a closed room. She'll come and sit right underneath it when frankincense is in there. You can also add it to their food, and I would advise using the toothpick method. So just using the tip of a toothpick, the tiniest little bit, and put it into their food to begin with, and see if they accept that. If they accept that, you can go a little bit bigger as they tolerate it. Directly dripping it into a cat's mouth, that's not going to go over very well, I don't think. Most cats will spit and drool and really not tolerate that well. It's not to say that you couldn't do it. If you needed to do it for some reason, you could, but they'll sort of start salivating profusely. They do not like essential oils put directly into their mouths. So just kind of an FYI. One of the things that I did actually with Angel quite a bit when she was still with us, she loved coconut oil. Actually, they both love coconut oil, but with her, she loved it mixed with frankincense. And so that was one way that I delivered it to her, is I would mix 1 to 2 drops, usually an extra drop would drip out, and she didn't ever seem to care, into a tablespoon of coconut oil. And then I would give her little bits of that throughout the day. And that really seemed to give her a lot of benefits. She really enjoyed it. Obviously, coconut oil, raw, unprocessed, virgin coconut oil is really healthy fat for the cats anyway. So it's a healthy thing to do for them. So that's another way that you can deliver frankincense to your cats. All right, so now I've covered kitties and frankincense, and we can move on. So those were all the things I wanted to kind of pass on to you guys, and as far as frankincense goes. And we'll be moving on to lavender next in a little bit. And I hope you guys are gathering a lot of great information from these videos. If you are enjoying them, please comment below. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will address them. And if you are liking them enough, or you know someone who might benefit from the information, please feel free to share it with them. Share the video. Have a great day. We'll talk about lavender in just a little bit.